further ado, I got a friend that I want to introduce you to from Southside Stockton. His name is Mr. Brandon Lee.
Steps to being Brandon Lee. 1. Be named Brandon Lee. 2. Be born on May 4th, 1992 with an extremely large head. Sorry about that, Mom. 3. Be born to a mother who has a heart of gold and just pray that she has the Midas touch for. Be born and raised in Southside Stockton, in a cave filled with hard rocks that when pressed become gems 5. Be born with brown skin. This excessive amount of melanin will surely dictate much of your future. Make sure y'all remember these steps. I never saw before, and I know it's you, burrowed deep inside the very fiber of my being like a latent mutation slowly making its way to the surface as I'm attempting to completely cleanse chromosomes of your existence because I just can't get a grip on this perpetual identity crisis, and that's why I'm here. On this internal mission to seek and destroy every semblance of you. Every thought I ever had of you goes straight to the flames. Incineration is the only compensation for all these years I've wasted. But any good soldier would tell you to ensure victory, you must first know your enemy.
But understand that we'll take it from here. Look what we can do. We'll redline them zones and reclaim those homes. You guys call it gentrification. We call it self-improvement. And we'll preach that to the masses. What you guys got to understand is that y'all ethnic ways have been a bit too flavorful for the world. So what we do is we got to make sure that your history has always been an elective to me. Make sure that you only get access to it in further education. We won't tell y'all nothing about yourselves besides slavery.
Anyway, this tour must go on. If you'll notice, you'll see none of our homes above ground. Because here at 6th and Nightingale, we firmly believe in placing all of our homes underneath ground because our community better embraces those that are 6 feet deep. So we get you started early. But what you will notice is our lavish plush lawns of grain that's made up of an enticing combination of kush and cash because nothing better accompanies a high than consumerism. And then I saw Shauna sitting at that bus stop with her 3 children, 2 of which I know are going to different schools on opposite sides of town, and one of them too young for school, so she's taking him to a job interview with enough hope in her soul that when the soles of her feet hit the ground today will bring about something better than the day before. So yes, I woke up on the right side of the bed because today I elected to choose joy because joy is not a matter of circumstance. Joy is a choice. So what will you choose to put in your cup in the morning? And then I went on Facebook, right? And like normally death don't bother me. I mean, I've seen my fair share of moments where a 6-foot hole has been a safe haven for a soul in this mortal game of hide and go seek, but there's something real different about Alton Sterling. I couldn't help but think that I was seeing a mirror image of myself being gunned down simply for selling CDs. Or maybe it was for daring to be more than what those cops thought him to be. Or maybe it was simply because he was black, and in that moment I better understood my mother's greatest fear, that every time I leave her home, on the other side of that phone will no longer be a son, but be America's next most popular hashtag. I want to be a never-ending oasis. Oh wait, no, better yet, a river that flows rapidly with passion, because I want to be the water that quenches the thirst that you hold in your throat until we elope to remain together forever, because I don't merely want to be something that you stop by to seek refreshment in your desert. On Sundays, they tell me we ain't in no religion, but instead we in a relationship. And in a relationship, you do things for your partner, not out of obligation, but instead out of long-lasting infatuation. And if this is true, then y'all help me track this train of thought. I love God. At least I say so. I would do anything for God. At least half the time I think so. But if I'm being real, my thoughts, words, and actions don't always align with that statement, so logically my mind begins to wonder, am I faking? Is my love in this relationship vacant? I'm just saying I've been kneeling and praying for so long that my knees got rug burn, pondering this idea of how I truly love God, but if I walked into Sunday service and opened my closet, they'd say it was a facade. Here you go, dear friend. You've always been a little bit extra. Now please, don't take offense to that. What I mean by it is that you've always been more than enough. Because like, every time I look into your eyes, I don't think that we're so close, but more so close. Like, you and I had to have met up there in the sky alongside God eternities ago. Because we get along just a little too well. Like, you're the yin to my yang. We balance each other out like black and white, quite literally at times. And literally, you are the first thing that runs through my mind. Like, I wake up in the morning with this real odd smile, and my brother, he stares at me and says, "Bro, what's going on?" And I'm like, you wouldn't understand, man. Just wait till you get older. At 20, look in the mirror to see the reflection of a stranger, the one that you know resides inside, but you're too afraid, too fearful, too scared to finally unzip yourself from your own skin to show the world you uncovered nothing but dry bones, raw meat, and a barren soul. This world will respond back saying, "Hey, yo, Brandon, we appreciate your transparency and everything, but you're just not good enough for us." So one of the biggest things that we can do is the love that we long to receive, we can give. There's this thing called planting, in which, I don't mind, don't worry about it. We plant seeds of what we long to harvest. And what I mean by that is, whatever you put into people, more than likely you'll get back from people. So if you put in bullying or negative thoughts, then more than likely what's going to happen is those negative thoughts are not only going to stem within yourself, but within them to come back to you.
That's spoken word poet Brandon Leake from Stockton. He is about to begin the Dark Side Tour. There are albums of his work. He was reading from a book of his poetry. He teaches and speaks, and there's such a long list of appearances that I think many, many people in the area know you and have heard you in person. What's the response? What do you get back from people?
Silence. A vast majority of the time. So like, when I do poems, I used to perform with a lot of like rappers and singers, and like people get like super riled up for them. My art produces self-reflection, and so oftentimes I get very quiet audiences and then applause at the end, but then afterwards I get a lot of people who are deeply impacted and touched by what's happened on stage. So